Have you ever seen a tree that looks like it was splashed with paint? I mean, we're talking about vivid greens, blues, purples, and reds, all streaked down the trunk like a living piece of abstract art. Well, this is the Rainbow Eucalyptus, and believe it or not, what you're looking at is 100% natural. So how on earth is that even possible? Let's dive in.
But let's be honest, that's the first question that pops into everyone's head, right? Is this thing for real? I mean, it looks so surreal. It almost has to be fake. Maybe a clever photo edit or some kind of cool art installation. And you know what? That's a fair question, because this tree really does defy belief.
But the answer is yes, it is absolutely real. And I promise you, the reason why it looks this way is even more fascinating than the colors themselves. This isn't just some pretty tree, it's a masterpiece of evolutionary engineering.
Okay, so to understand this living rainbow, we have to start with the canvas itself, the bark. The magic really begins with the very unique way this tree sheds its outer layers.
Now, there's a fancy scientific term for this process, deglutition. But all it really means is that instead of shedding its bark all at once, the rainbow eucalyptus is constantly peeling off these long, thin strips. And that right there is the first clue to its secret.
But here's the real trick. It isn't just that it peels, but how. See, it's a continuous, year-round thing, but it's completely random and patchy. Different parts of the bark peel off at totally different times. And what you get is this incredible living mosaic, where every single part of the trunk is at a different stage of aging at any given moment.
And that timing, that random patchy peeling, is absolutely crucial because each stage reveals a different color. This is where we get into the actual chemistry of the rainbow.
Okay, so basically the color of any patch of bark tells you how old it is. When a strip first peels away, it reveals this bright, almost neon green inner bark that's just packed with chlorophyll. But as soon as that layer hits the air, it starts to change. The chlorophyll breaks down, and compounds called tannins start to oxidize. You know how a sliced apple turns brown when you leave it out? It's a very similar chemical reaction. So that oxidation takes the bark on this incredible journey, from green to blues and purples, then to these rich oranges and reds, and finally to a dark brown right before it peels away, and the whole cycle starts over again. So each color is literally a snapshot in time. A patch of purple is older than a patch of green, and a patch of red is older still. The tree's whole trunk becomes this living clock, just displaying the passage of time through color. It's amazing.
All right, so we've covered the how, but that just brings us to an even bigger question. Why? Why would a tree evolve such a complex and beautiful but seemingly elaborate system? This definitely isn't just for show.
Well, believe it or not, that rainbow is actually a weapon. This tree is native to hot, humid, tropical rainforests, and its spectacular appearance is the direct result of some brilliant strategies for surviving in a really tough neighborhood.
First up, it has self-cleaning armor. Think about it. In a place that's always warm and wet, a tree's trunk is prime real estate for things like fungi, moss, and parasites. And these things aren't just ugly, they can be deadly. So what's the rainbow eucalyptus's solution? Just throw them away. By constantly shedding its outer bark, it literally discards any unwanted hitchhikers before they can ever dig in and cause disease. It's a fantastic proactive defense.
But that's not all. Remember that bright green, freshly exposed bark? Well, that color is a huge clue to the tree's second superpower.
This number is just, well, it's astonishing. That green inner bark isn't just green for show, it's photosynthetic. It can actually perform photosynthesis just like leaves, and it is incredibly efficient at it. Studies have shown that this cortical photosynthesis can recapture and reuse up to 96% of the carbon dioxide that the tree's own internal tissues release.
And why does that matter so much? Well, in a dense, tropical rainforest, life is a race to the top, to get to the sunlight. And this extra energy boost from its own trunk helps the rainbow eucalyptus grow incredibly fast, giving it a vital edge over all the competition. It's kind of like having solar panels built right into its body.
Now, to really put this unique strategy into perspective, just look at it next to its relatives. Most eucalyptus trees evolved in the fire-prone landscapes of Australia, so they developed this thick, insulating bark to survive wildfires. But the rainbow eucalyptus, living in a wet world where fire is pretty rare, went in the complete opposite direction. It traded that fireproof armor for a thin, shedding skin that defends against a totally different enemy, biological threats like fungus, while also supercharging its own growth.
It's a tree that's highly specialized for its home, but it also means it's extremely vulnerable to fire. So, here we have this spectacular, biologically ingenious tree. You'd think its main value to us would be its incredible beauty, right? But there's a final, pretty ironic twist to this story.
In a really strange twist of fate, because it grows so ridiculously fast, the rainbow eucalyptus is one of the most important trees farmed for pulpwood, especially in places like the Philippines. That's right, all of that incredible natural color is just processed away to produce plain, ordinary white paper. Kind of surprising, isn't it, for nature's most colorful masterpiece to end up like that?
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? The story of the rainbow eucalyptus shows that sometimes the most beautiful things in nature aren't just beautiful for their own sake. They're often a sign of a fierce, brilliant battle for survival. So what other marvels are we all looking at that are actually hiding a secret weapon right there in plain sight?